What is up, good people? Crypto Prepper here. Today is Tuesday, May 26th, 2026. Today, we are looking at a fear and greed index of 37 with Bitcoin at 75,000. Today, we are scrolling all the way down to number 37 to try to find the best Polkadot trading bot for 2026. It's currently a buck 24, and let's get to it. So, what I did was I went back to May 26th, 27th of 2025, and I have this vertical line going up. And then I measured 75% down and 75% up. So this one was kind of tough because I tried to put myself in my own shoes of if I were to set up this bot a year ago. I don't know if I would have gone down and up 75%. I probably wouldn't have gone up that far, and the bot definitely would not be as successful. There's therefore, but if I were looking at that price of 445 a year ago, it had already dropped 61% from the spring we saw after the election in 2024. So that is more than the other coins that dropped at that point, I think. So it's just hard to put myself in these shoes, but if I were to, if I, and that's the hard thing with these grid bots is to know how far to set your grid sometimes. But because if I would have gone the standard 50 or 60%, it definitely would not have ended as well. Okay. So let me just tighten up these high ranges. So you can see I use my measurement tool to go up and down. And then what I do is I click and drag the high and low price to try to get at least down here it's harder to tell because the lines are tighter, but up here I try to get the top line, that top sell line right at the top of that. And it's hard to get it exactly 75%, so I just try to get as close as I can. Okay, so don't ignore, or you can just ignore this back test here because I've made some changes since running that. Let's see what we could have got with this grid bot over the last 365 days. And it's a 14.83% APY. So it's not too bad. But let's see, we kind of give you an idea how these grid bots work. Talked about it briefly in other videos, but a year after holding this bot with $1,000 in it, it lowered the break even price. So starting this bot here, your break even price would have been right about there. But then as it's bought and sold throughout the time, it lowers that when the price goes like this. So, your break even price is here. If you were to sell this or stop this bot, you would be looking at a 54% loss. But after taking the what you gained from the transactions out, then you're down 40%. So it's not something, you typically would want to do anyway. And hopefully this support holds because, oh man, there's really nothing underneath it. You can see, back in 2021 is when it got listed on Coinbase here. And it's never been this low as it is now. So I don't know the entire history, but as far as Coinbase goes, it's as low as it's ever been, or lower than it's ever been. I guess let's see here. Yeah, it's actually still above the February 5th low. Double tap in April. Anyway, this was tough to look at being down so much and whatnot, but from what I saw on the Electric Capital's developer report, says their developer activity has gone up over the past year, and I think that is updated from this month, May 2026. It's just the price isn't showing it. So anyway, let's look at the DCA bot and go over the settings that we would have used, and uh, I would have felt a lot more comfortable setting this bot up than I would have setting the grid bot up with those, especially with that needed range. So you can see here I've got a 19.58% APY, which is pretty good, better than you're going to get in any bank, and probably better than you would get staking dot if that is even an option. I don't know. So you can see even since last year, it's dropped down 72.95%, and it's transacted all the way through here. We don't see a whole lot of uh, time that you would had to wait. You know, it looks like the longest little stretch here was between March 30th and May 9th before seeing any activity. So, and even back here, you wouldn't have been fully vested, so you would have been able to catch another little dip if that would have given it to you, but it didn't happen to. But I guess before I look at the activity on the chart, the second thing I look for is this continuation. So even back here on March 29th, you still would have had one limit order left, or maybe two, because one, two, three, four, yeah, you would have had two. So your bot hadn't been fully vested, but it took profit here May 10th and paid you $12, and uh, and then purchased again on the 15th, it looks like. So with these green lines we see here is we see we're protected all the way down to 84 cents at this point. So hopefully it doesn't go down that low, because, we've got the February 6th is 112, it looks like. February 5th or February 6th. Looks like the low here was on the 6th. But let's talk about these settings and what we use to get that kind of return. So we set up this on Coinbase, and it's pairing DOT and USDC. Here's our initial investment of 1,000. Like always, you can scale that up, but definitely with something this low on the market cap, I wouldn't put too much money in this, but to each his own. And this is, of course, not financial advice. If you like DOT, then you do what you want to do. So, just like always, our base order amount is 31.25. So it's going to buy $31.25 automatically. And then when it drops down to the next line, it's going to buy another 31.25. And then it drops down again, it's going to double that investment again. 62, and then double 125, and then double, and then 250, and then double at 500. So you're fully vested. And then that's where we get the averaging orders quantity, the lines underneath here. And then the distance between those lines is this averaging order step percent. So this one was pretty successful at 8, which that has been a pretty good consistent distance on some of the other coins that ran these bots on. And I think this one might be the steepest drop, because what did I say? Oops, I guess it's not on this one. Maybe I have to just go out further. I thought I had the measurement here. I guess I didn't. But it's dropped 75% over the last year. Actually, let me uh, just do a measurement here, so I'm not telling you. I'm making sure I'm giving you accurate information. Okay, where's my May 26th, 27th range? Right about here. So it has dropped 72%. So, and like I talked about with the grid bot, I wouldn't have thought it was going to drop another 72%, because the recent double high we saw in late December, or in late 2024, it had already dropped. Let's see, that's 71. And at the point that we would have been setting up this bot, it was down 57%. So that grid bot would have been harder to set up, where this one would not have been with these settings. Okay, stop blabbing and continue on with these settings here. The price change is 5%. That's pretty standard, what we typically do. And then our risk management pump dump protection is turned off. So let's rerun this back test and make sure that nothing has changed. And here we go, 19.58. So I would definitely feel more comfortable setting up a DCA bot on DOT than I would a grid bot. But at this point, I don't see how DOT could really go much lower unless something catastrophic happened. Because, like I said, their developer report is increasing, and I don't know anything about the other metrics like total value locked that you'll see, you know, with this RWA narrative that we seem to have this cycle. I don't know that much about DOT. But anyway, hopefully this helped you in your bot making journey. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you did not like the video, give me a thumbs down. If you want to see more of these videos, subscribe to the channel. And if you have a favorite coin, leave it for me in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.